gas. Oh, this is the part of the video where it's gonna go like doom, 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 bow. I told you. Welcome back to the garage, man. We're picking right back up on the old WideBody CR-V. I'm actually stoked that a lot of you guys like how this is coming out. I was nervous about doing this. Like I mentioned in the last video, this is my first time ever doing something like this, so I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to pull it off or not. I mean, granted, it's not done, but I think it's coming out pretty good, man. Obviously, I got all the welds grinded down, but we are gonna need to do some body work and stuff. I'll come through and hit this with a little bit of body filler and sand it, some high build primer. We're gonna have to spray everything back to black. I have both sides caught up to one another. It's crazy. I think this side came out a little bit better. It's the side that we did second. Of course it came out better, but I don't know. I'm really satisfied with how it's coming out. I still need a cut here, so that's kind of where it's gonna get a little crazy, I think. I'm wondering if there's gonna be tension on this, and whenever I cut it, like potentially it's gonna go like doing, you know, like one side's gonna stick out more than another, but I don't know. Either way, I feel like I'll be able to kind of bend it, pull it and push it and manipulate it to where they line up. But before we get to cutting these doors loose, I want to trim this out. I need to trim this so that I can put the door back on. The idea is I want the door to be on there, of course, and I want it to be able to open like normal. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to take a pretty large little notch out of this, and then I need to build another return that's gonna go back and fill in the gap and everything. Oh, I need to clear my workbench, so we got somewhere to work. Definitely gotta stay stocked up on super clean, man. I don't know what I would ever do if I ran out of super clean, you know what I'm saying? But don't worry, it's not gonna happen anytime soon. So we know what shape this has gotta be. This. This is not going to be dead on exact. I know for a fact that the cut is definitely going to be much lower than this. This is going to give me like a starting point. Well, that definitely ended up being way different of a shape than what I was expecting it to be. But whenever you pop this thing open, as it opens, it has a pretty even gap around it until right there. It touches right here. And I don't know, man, I'm just afraid to keep going back further. Like I know, like if this was like something that was painted nice and everything, like you wouldn't want this. You know what I'm saying? Because it would be chipping the paint here and there. So I don't know if maybe it would be a better idea to limit the amount that the door actually opens so it doesn't come in contact with it, because I just feel like I would have to cut a lot of this back and make it look even more weirder than what it's already starting to look, for it to be able to open all the way and not come in contact with it. But I don't know, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the door back off and trim it just a little bit more and see if we can't make a template on what size metal it is I'm gonna need to close this in. All right, taking my little file set, I'm gonna grab one of these guys out of here. Nice little round one, that'll work. I'm gonna drag the file across the edge of this, cutting the tape. So instead of marking this edge, I'm just gonna cut the tape right where it needs to be. Now this backside, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it with a razor blade because I can't get a file in there, and I want the metal to actually butt right up against the edge of where the filler door is at. It can't overlap because then it would basically make the filler door opening smaller and the door wouldn't fit. So it's gotta butt right up against it, and then I'm gonna have to weld it to it and then grind it down. Doing a whole lot of cutting, grinding, and welding right here in my fuel door. Probably not the safest thing in the world, but if you're watching this video, I made it through. Sick. For something that seems like such a difficult shape, it's actually not all that difficult, man. Pretty simple little shape. All right, I got our tape template applied to a piece of metal and got it cut out already. But now this thing has got to bend, and it's not just a straight bend, it's like a curve, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be slowly bending it a little more and more, going over there, checking it, holding it up to there until I get it right. I found the perfect place actually right here on my workbench that'll slide in between the slats, and I can just kind of flex it in order to bend it. Works pretty good, shit. It's almost as if I know what I'm doing around here, you know what I mean? Check out how good this thing fits. Boy, this goes right in there. Now of course, I need to like tack it in a couple places, and while I tack it, I can kind of push this, because this is down probably like a 1/16. I could push that up to where it's flush, tack that, and then kind of massage it a little bit. But for just setting it in there, bro, I'm gonna try to push it to where it kind of wedges itself, and I can take my hands off of it for a moment. Dude, what is up, man? That came out so freaking fresh, man. So freaking flush. That's what's up, dude. I'm actually excited about that. That's pretty sick. Once I get this tacked in and cleaned up, we're gonna start cutting on these doors and getting those opened up and start making our little wedge pieces for in there. But dude, this is actually coming out pretty sick, man. I think I mentioned this already, but I was nervous about going into this. Like, I wasn't sure if it was gonna come out. I kind of was thinking to myself, like, dude, I'm gonna mess this up. And yeah, anyhow, it just goes to show you, man, you don't know until you actually do something, until you actually try. So I think this is gonna come out pretty legit, bro. Who knows, this might push me to a point to where I actually want to do a decent paint job on this thing. Came out better than what I expected, man. Came out pretty freaking clean. It looks a lot more normal now with the return. Like, when it was just the cut, it kind of looked a little goofy to me, but now that it's closed in, looks freaking legit. Now it's time to cut these damn doors loose, man. So I saw in a comment in the last video, somebody had mentioned, yo, now the rear doors aren't usable, but no, I'm definitely gonna cut them loose. So we are gonna put a seam right here. Once I cut this, then I'm gonna need to like actually box it in on the inside, but it's getting ahead of ourselves. We need to cut that. I also marked it back here. I left this piece a little bit oversized when I cut out the template so that I can go ahead and trim this. So this is gonna need to be trimmed. Sick. got the rear done, for the most part done. I have to do some finalizing, like as far as welding and stuff, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and save that for whenever I am going to do the body work and prepare this thing for paint. But all the hard work is done. Got all the little block offs all made. So same exact concept, man. Just get it all ready and prepped, and then do a little template out of tape, cut it, tack it in. Now my door shut, or opens. Bow. Dude, this actually came out pretty freaking clean. I'm kind of contemplating like making a piece that goes right here and potentially closing in the backside and all that, but we'll worry about that later. For right now, I just want to get the front caught up to the rear now. So I want to get it to this point, and I think I have an idea how it is I want to do the front. I was kind of looking at it last night and just like brainstorming ideas, and the front I think is actually going to be a lot easier than what the rear was. So coming back out here to our little parts pile of CR-V madness that has accumulated in the back of my truck, I have a full length bumper, and I say full length because it hasn't been cut. We need a non-cut bumper. Oh shit, it's filthy. Guess I have to pressure wash it. Oh man, that is it, bro. It's so crazy just seeing the front of this thing back like stock body, you know what I'm saying? It's refreshing, dude. It really is. The open wheel wells have never been like part of my plan whatsoever. It turns out it's gonna be a lot easier to just take it back to stock and then alter it from here. All right, so the more that I look at this, the more that I change my mind on things. I don't know, I've had like 5 different ideas so far on what to do with this front fender. And I'm kind of leaning towards an idea right now that is, one, it's gonna look aggressive. It's gonna give it the look that it needs to go along with the back, but it's also gonna simplify this a lot. So what I'm thinking, and I don't know if it's gonna work unless I actually do it. That's the problem. Like, I kind of need to go forth with like doing the cut and attempting to do what it is that I have in my head right now. Before I'm even gonna know if it's gonna work. So now, while I would like to cut this and maybe make a new flare and bring it up a little bit higher or something, I don't think it necessarily needs it. I just know that this needs to come out further. It needs to be wider, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm thinking is maybe, because I do want to do a vent right here, maybe if I cut the fender completely loose down here, follow this line up, and then come in, this portion right here, I can work it to where it bends in. Braven's pressure washing out back. Anyhow, I could bend this section in, and then maybe I might be able to get this area along with this to just kind of flex out to give it the more wide stance that it needs. And then with that going in, and then we can create our vents going down, because I also want to put some vents in here, and I have to make an extension for the bottom that holds this. But I don't know, I think I'm gonna go ahead and send it and try it. Worst case scenario, it's not gonna work, and I'll just have to continue this cut all the way up. All right, so with this piece here, this is gonna connect this edge to this edge in here, and this is gonna give us kind of the spacing, you know what I mean? But what I'm gonna do, so I was looking at it, if I put this in there the way it is, it would end up being like that. Now, you see where I have this line marked at? That's 1.25 inches down from that point to here, then I just connect that up to this corner. So if I cut this out and then put this piece in there, it'll make this kind of have a little bit of an angle like that, in which you'd be able to see that dimension from out here, you know what I mean? If this is just completely straight the way I have it right now, like out here looking at it, you wouldn't be able to see that dimension of it. You just see that this is in further, obviously. But if I drop that down, then you'll actually see this piece, and it'll just give it a little bit more detail, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut that sliver off, and then get this in here. I am gonna need to trim this a little bit more. It can't be just a straight cuts like that. So when I set this in here and hold it up flush, so if I hold it up flush to that cut, do you see how much of it sticks out? So I need to cut that, and I need to get this in position and be able to hold it there while I mark this, and then I need to go and trim it some before we can get this tacked in. Alright, well there it is, man. Now, of course, it's far from done. I gotta finalize like welding and everything, and then of course do body work. We have a lot of body work to do on the rear portion. Still a lot of welding and everything to do on the rear as well. But that's it, dude. That's kind of how I envisioned it looking in my head. So yeah, came out pretty dope. I did burn some holes in it, but what's dope about the fenders is I'm gonna be able to actually pull these off and then get everything welded from the back side. So when I do that, I need to trim a lot of this and clean it up, and I'll get these holes filled in and all that. So just so you know, whenever this is done, I plan on like doing body work, high build primer, sanding it, getting everything to where this all just looks like one piece. It's not gonna look rough like this, of course, but then I decided to go ahead and build this structure on the bottom. I think just kind of really gave it that finishing touch. So I'm still wanting to do like some vents or something in here. I'm not 100% certain on how it is I want to do that quite yet. When we pick back up on this thing, we'll get it figured out. I want to go get like some construction paper and try there's a couple of different ideas that I have with it, but dude, it's coming out pretty sick, man. I kind of stretched the fenders out to kind of bulge them out a little bit more. I plan on probably doing that more, maybe heat the bumper and get the bumper to kind of flex out some. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for now. We're gonna pick back up on this another day because we actually have a bunch of stuff that came in for Braven's truck. So I'm gonna be switching gears over to the Colorado. But I hope you guys are liking how the CR-V is coming out. It's definitely looking pretty sick, man. This is how I envisioned this thing being from the start. So anyhow, most certainly leave some comments down below what you guys think, how you guys think it's coming out. I do plan on figuring out some kind of side skirt. I think with how aggressive this is, it needs some kind of aggressive side skirt to go with it. I can't wait to get it done and get it all painted in all one color again. Anyhow, Colorado's tomorrow. Peace, and I'll see you guys then.